What are the general challenges of the blockchain? Of course, we've looked at challenges of generation 1 blockchain and generation 2 blockchains. We've been able to talk a lot of technical things. Of course, I try to be as shallow as possible. But then, what are the general challenges? So someone that's not technical, looking at the blockchain, someone that doesn't even know about the whole scalability, the whole boundary interoperability, someone from the outside, what are the challenges? Why can't a normal business guy that did economics, that's a genius in business, a crazy guy in certain business, why can't he adopt the blockchain technology for his business just yet? So let's see this, and perhaps maybe one of you viewing will be one of those persons to help us solve this and take us to the next level. I'm really super excited and I'm really honored to be taking you this course. So the first big problem, as you can see on the screen in this slide, is the bad reputation problem. This is the first big problem a lot of businesses have with adopting the blockchain. The bad reputation problem. And the bad reputation problem is coming from two different core sides, two different key sides. The first is from the first use case of the blockchain. The first use case of the blockchain is the Bitcoin. Okay? And of course, for me, the Bitcoin is revolutionary. For those of us in the tech field, those of us in the old blockchain field, Bitcoin is revolutionary. And of course, we are seeing companies adopting the Bitcoin. A lot of companies, MasterCard, Visa card, a lot of PayPal, a lot of credit companies are adopting Bitcoin for their things. Even banks, at least Bank of New York, Mellon, so last year, 2020, I started doing things around blockchain. Then we are seeing countries begin to adopt the Bitcoin. Of course, El Salvador is working on making Bitcoin legal tender, although the World Bank seemed to have rejected it yesterday. June 17, 2021, as a time of recording. But let's see in the future. Let's see what's going to happen. So, but either ways, the Bitcoin is not the core of blockchain. Okay, so even if the Bitcoin doesn't thrive because it's trying to compete with a lot of people, a lot of governments, and institutions, and the rest, Ethereum and the other guys are going to change the world. Anyway, we are going to look at this. But I believe strongly in Bitcoin. I'm a blockchain enthusiast. I'm a Bitcoin enthusiast. But more so, I believe in Ethereum because it is solving a real problem, not just money. Bitcoin has a little challenge of competing with financial institutions, with government, because government can't control this. They can't regulate this, and the government is not happy. Because take away money from the government, they have no power over the people anymore. If you are not in charge of if the government cannot affect me financially in any way, then I don't really think they have a lot of power over me as they would. So the government would always want to, in the end, find a way to play around Bitcoin. But Ethereum, which was started by Vitalik Buterin, a young guy, he was 17 then when he started it, it's going to be revolutionary. So, but anyway, I love the Bitcoin and I invest in the Bitcoin. So, take it or leave it. This whole government fraud, I believe, will take some years before it happens. But I am a lover of Ethereum more, I must say this. So, the Bitcoin is the first use case of the blockchain. And when Bitcoin started, of course, it was just vague. It is a currency that does not have any government in control and the rest. So, first of all, government didn't like this idea because, something we can't control, it's not going to work. It's not possible. Everybody says it's not going to work. But there's some people that want to spend outside the government. There's some people that like the idea. What? The form of money that the government cannot control. I love this idea. Who are those people? The drug dealers, the bad guys. Those people who want to buy ammunition without making the government know. They started transacting with Bitcoin. So somebody wants to buy drugs. He doesn't need to use money from bank again and spend on drugs. He uses Bitcoin. Of course, this doesn't mean Bitcoin has been the only thing. In fact, we have that more fraudulent or more, I don't know what the word to use, more criminal related purchases of things has been done with fiat, with normal money, than with the Bitcoin. So don't think the Bitcoin is the normal money is even worse when it comes to Bitcoin in terms of purchasing this thing. But some tech guys, of course, who are into the tech field, I say, hey, look, let's take the Bitcoin and use it. So when Bitcoin started, they were using it for all this money laundering and the rest. And they were using it to do a lot of crazy things. And the government now really also didn't like it. And also, of course, there were a lot of news going in public. There's this new technology that some money launderers, some drug dealers, and some bad people are beginning to use. It's called the blockchain and the rest and the rest. And that stamps the blockchain in a lot of people's heart. There are some people, I don't know what to call them now, I don't know the name to give them, but there are some people, the generation before the millennials, okay, I think now we have Gen Z. So generation before the millennials, a lot of them hardly love the Bitcoin. They just believe this is scam, this is fraudulent. So on one aspect, Bitcoin coming to be used by Bitcoin used by drug dealers and the rest. Of course, Bitcoin was tied heavily to the blockchain, has kind of given the blockchain a bad reputation at first. Then the second part that is also affecting the blockchain is the fact that a lot of people who come into the blockchain don't really know all these use cases that I've told you. In fact, I didn't know also at first, and more still, I believe some of you in this class didn't know also at first until we delved into all these use cases and we saw how important it was. So the first way most people meet or encounter the blockchain is through investing in cryptocurrencies. They buy some cryptocurrencies. And at some point in time, the time where people buy cryptocurrency is when it is being hyped. And when it is being hyped, it's usually when the price has gone up. The price of this stock has gone up because there's a year called the year of the bull run where there is some tether manipulation. I don't want to go into that. That's for on the trading aspect, okay? Because of course I'm also involved in cryptocurrency trading and the rest. So when there's tether manipulation, the price of these assets shoots up so much, and people are beginning to hear it on news. Bitcoin just moved from $3,000 to $10,000, $10,000, $20,000, $20,000, $30,000, $10,000, $40,000, $40,000, $50,000, $50,000, $60,000. People are like, what is going on? I want to buy some Bitcoin. And they go ahead and buy when the price has gone so high. And of course, anything that goes up hard comes down really hard. So it's going to go up and it's going to come down and people lose their money. Someone can invest in 100,000 naira and at the end of everything is coming out with 1,000 naira. Not on Bitcoin definitely, because Bitcoin can't do you that bad. But some of these other coins, apart from Bitcoin, coins of other projects, which are usually called altcoins, they crash so bad. In short, yesterday there's a coin called Iron Finance. Iron Finance. This coin, yesterday, June 17, 2021, Iron Finance coin crashed badly from about $60 or more down to 0 something cents or so, or dollars. I have to get the data. It crashed so badly that if you are putting, let's use 100,000, if you are putting 100,000 on that stock, I don't think you have even up to 100. If you put $100,000, I don't think you have up to $100 left in your account. It's so crazy. Imagine putting 100,000 naira, you don't even have up to 100 naira left just yesterday. So that coin, it was capitulated badly because there was a little problem that they have on the blockchain network. They could not manage, they could not contain it, and that coin just crashed. A lot of all these new projects that are starting, they encounter that problem. And of course, most of these solid blockchain projects we have, some of them too might still encounter that problem in the future. It does not mean the project is not solid, but the coin on its own can capitulate and or a lot of other things can happen around it. So imagine someone who had invested in Iron Finance, putting in $100,000, 20,000 naira, and cannot even get up to 50 naira out of it anymore because cannot get 100 naira out of it. The crash was too bad. Do you know 100 naira is from 100,000 naira? It's just so unfathomable. But it happened with Iron Finance. And imagine Iron Finance was the first time this person was meeting the blockchain. This person is going to hate the blockchain. The blockchain is calm. Everything on the blockchain is calm. You're going to lose your money because they just think of blockchain as an investment scheme, a Ponzi scheme, where everybody's going to lose. This is the second problem. In short, we see it on TV. The blockchain, the Bitcoin is a big Ponzi scheme, bringing people in, and the owners are going to cash out, and everybody is going to lose their money. Your money is going to go. The bubble is going to burst. We see this media people talking about this. So this alone has also given the blockchain bad reputation. So serious businesses are scared. We see a lot of very, very good investors. Currently, as of 2021, one of them is Warren Buffett, a genius. He doesn't like Bitcoin, and I don't know. Although he talked a little good about the blockchain, but he doesn't like the Bitcoin. Bill Gates, he doesn't talk too much on the Bitcoin. He's keeping neutral on it. So a lot of these big investors are shying away from Bitcoin, and of course they want to say some of them who know it so little, who know something can talk about the blockchain, but people who don't even know about the blockchain, they want to shy away from Bitcoin, from blockchain, from anything, because they think they're going to lose their money. But they've not really met the real blockchain. They just met it through some other thing, which is perhaps the first use case of the blockchain, which was used for money laundering and drugs, and the second use case, which of course are cryptocurrency, where they invest their money, and which is not really a use case, which is just like on an A side where they invest their money and lose all their money. I hope I've been able to explain to you what cryptocurrencies truly are anyway. So the bad reputation problem is in fact one of the biggest problems. That's why some businesses, once you mention blockchain, because most of the CEOs of businesses we have today are people before the millennials. Okay? Most of them, they've had one or two experience with Bitcoin, with the blockchain, and they just don't want to hear it. They feel you're going to lose your money. They feel it's a scam, and they feel it has a bad reputation. And so because of that, they don't want to adopt it. And so this is one of the big problems. So it takes a lot of more courageous people, or people who are younger, who are seeing these things, who are learning more about technology, millennials and Gen Z, to, like us, to be able to adopt this. Alright, so the bad reputation problem. The second big challenge that the blockchain has, as you can see in the slide and on the screen, is lack of awareness and understanding. Lack of awareness and understanding. So, apart from the bad reputation problem, of course, we can see that people have invested and they've lost a lot of money and all that. Then a lot of people are not aware that the blockchain is doing a lot of other things apart from money. That blockchain can be used by musicians, can be used as NFTs, can be used for NFTs, can be used in the hospitals, can be used in legal systems. A lot of people don't know. In fact, I know some of you in this class, most of these I've taught about the application of the blockchain. A lot of people don't know. So if you are here, you're watching this video and you've not checked that video on application of the blockchain, try to check it out. Because, I really talked about, at least even though I didn't go too wide, but I was able to touch some core areas. There are a lot more areas. So a lot of people are not aware that the blockchain can even do this. So because of that, they leave it. Another thing is understanding. This is another very crazy thing. So even though the blockchain is able to do this, how does it do this? How can you tell me that I can buy a land from Nigeria? From Nigeria, I can buy a land in Miami without seeing the land using a blockchain, and I will trust that the land is safe. Come on, that doesn't make sense. Or how does this thing work? You're saying you put a block, some computer will solve a problem, the information is spread across different computers. What is all of this? This jargon, Reader Protocol, Ouroboros, Hydra. You're saying so many things I don't understand. In short, Gavin Wood and his team, those people that founded Polkadot, which is a genius project, they have one team called Grandpa. That's the name. They just give all these protocols different names. Grandpa, stupid name. And you're like, God, what is all of this? How can I understand? So people don't even understand this whole thing. Conventional people is so crazy to them because the tech is a little advanced. But when you start going deep into the tech. So most of the people currently on the blockchain are extreme geeks, like people that can be super genius, people that are open to learning, people that say, look, this field might not look too clear, but I'm ready to dive in to learn. So someone who just want to pass away time with it is going to get tired because there's so many complex things here and there, and the field is still new. So people are just finding new things around it. So it's complex to understand. And even I myself, I got this at some point. I was, come on, this thing is crazy, this thing is complex. But the driving force was, look, I'm going to tread this path. And look at me today, I'm able to teach you this course. It's amazing. So it's a little not so easy to understand. That's one of the challenges people have. But of course, I believe the idea is with time, there will be interfaces, there will be modules, there will be plugins, there will be, what do they call this? There will be packages. There's one word I'm trying to look for. There will be frameworks. Okay, there will be frameworks where normal people don't have to understand the real underworking. They just have to interact with these interfaces, these frameworks, these packages, and they can get the whole functionality. So when that time comes, just like we have on the internet today, then the blockchain is going to gain an adoption. So the internet too was like this. It was not understandable. What is this new thing? But really, it's here to stay, and it happened. Then the next thing is lack of regulatory clarity and good governance. Of course, this again is being worked on. Okay, it's being worked on. Quite like I told you just now, that the smart contracts have a regulatory body. Because the usual problem some people have is this: look, you are telling me that I'm building a voting app. The developers have built the voting app and they deployed it on the smart contract. The developers can no longer go and hack that smart contract. Okay, any vote I vote is going to be counted. But the idea is, even if they can't go and change that what they've written in that smart contract, how do I know what they've written in that smart contract in the first place? How does a layman trustfully know what they've written in the smart contract, unless what the developer comes to tell us that they wrote in the smart contract? The developer can have written a code that, look, no matter how this election comes, do their going in such a way that this person is going to win. Isn't it? So how do we know what they've written in the smart contract at first? So these are some of the regulatory. Well, of course, smart contracts now have regulatory bodies, people that can go look into smart contracts themselves online, even though they can't change them, view them, and see what data is really is and present it to us. Of course, this is like centralization again. But there will be blockchain projects that will be decentralized and link into smart contracts and fetch it and tell us. So they can be an independent blockchain project whose own project is just to fetch things from smart contracts and tell everybody in the decentralized manner. and all of that. So there are regulatory bodies that are beginning to come up. In short, there was the popular guy as of 2001 today, because I mean, who knows, next 10 years, I mean, many years from now, and you're watching this video, you might be lost. But when I say yesterday, so but today is June 18th, 2021. There is one of the favorite and biggest investors on the crypto space. One of the most popular, don't let me say biggest, is Mark Cuban. And he invested, of course, in Ion Finance, and he lost so much. The loss is over 100%. It's crazy. You've actually lost all your money. So because I never really believed you could lose all your money on the blockchain until yesterday. It was crazy, and I really thank my stars. I didn't invest in Ion Finance, but of course, doesn't mean the project is wrong. But the crypto asset was what something went wrong with, and the price capitulated. So Mark Cuban was shouting after the loss yesterday. He's a very big advocate for decentralized finance and the rest. But after the loss yesterday, even he was calling out that there should be some form of regulation. How should this happen? How should this happen? Because there's no way they still believe there's no way the price was calculated, and the people who started the project wouldn't have known or wouldn't have gotten one or two ideas that the software is breaking or something along the way. So it's so crazy. Mark Cuban was saying there should be some form of regulation. So because of this lack of clarity on regulation policy, who is regulating this whole blockchain? These blockchain guys are just geeks that are doing things freelance. So nobody's regulating them, nobody's controlling them. In short, there are some projects that they are just out there to dupe you. They are not doing anything. They're going to tell you, we are going to take you to the moon. As you sleep, you just see yourself in the moon. That's our project. I mean, that sounds very ridiculous, but I'm just giving an example. So they're not really doing anything. They just tell you hype one thing, say many things, and people go and invest in their ICUs, buy the coin, and do a lot of things. At the end of everything, they lose all their money because this blockchain were actually designed to scam you. So the idea is this: you're not going to really reason how can other people that regulate these things. So because of some regulatory policies that are not so there yet, then of course it's going to be difficult. And of course, it's going to be very difficult to regulate the blockchain because the blockchain was designed to not be centralized, not there to be for them not to be control. But there are some people today that their focus is on blockchain regulation. So they are studying it. We don't want to lose control. We don't want it to be centralized. But how can we regulate it? Can we have blockchains that regulate blockchains? So a lot of research are being worked on this. And I know once they break through with this, it will open door for more adoption. Then the next thing is cost. Cost. So imagine a business is trying to build its own private blockchain. The cost to run the nodes, the cost to do this, the cost to do that can be crazy. So the cost, even to develop a blockchain interface software, the cost is very high. But of course, with things like Ethereum and Solana, this cost part has already been almost crushed. But of course, for now, Ethereum gas fee is very high. There's something called gas fee. It's a fee you pay to use the Ethereum blockchain. So each time you do a transaction on Ethereum blockchain, you pay a fee. Okay, I will explain this when we get to smart contracts more. So, but the Ethereum gas fee is very high. So for those programming on Ethereum, building their things on Ethereum, of course, I already explained to you the idea of Ethereum. Instead of you starting your own blockchain from scratch, building your own nodes, connecting, getting everything ready, Ethereum already has these nodes and the machines and engine. Then I provided a programming language where you can write some codes and deploy your app on their own engine and be using their engine for whatever you want to do. Of course, because it's on the blockchain, they own the engine, cannot tamper with anything you are doing. And even you that have deployed it cannot tamper with what you are doing. Also, in a way, you can interact with smart contracts, but there are some things you can't really change because it's the blockchain. And so, but again, the cost of Ethereum gas fee is tied to the price of Ethereum coin. Ethereum coin is called Ether. So the cost of Ethereum, the gas fee. So as more people are beginning to use the Ethereum platform, more and more demand is increasing. The price of Ether, the demand for Ether keeps increasing, and the price of Ether keeps going on. Imagine something that was 36,000 has gone to 1.2 million. Even though the gas fee was a fraction of that Ether, that fraction, as the price of Ether keeps increasing, that fraction will increase. And invariably, the price of Ethereum is going. So the price of the gas fee is, in short, you might want to do a transaction of $100 and pay a fee of $100 to do a transaction of $100. It's crazy. I want to send 50,000 naira now to somebody. 50,000 naira is roughly $100 now. I want to send 50,000 naira to somebody. I have to pay 50,000 naira transfer charges. That is crazy. But we are seeing it on the Ethereum blockchain, so that cost is mad. But on things like Solana, they've solved this. Gas fee is cheap, speed is. Even Binance Smart Chain, you want to send someone some money on Binance, Sometimes gas is what you pay zero fee when you are doing this with BUSD and Binance Smart Chain is crazy, zero fee, and the speed is like this. I mean, amazing. So, but Solana very fast and so of course Ethereum 2 is working on building out Ethereum 2.0 where you get the speed and you get low cost. So I believe this cost issue will be one of the problems that will be easily solved. But for now, it's still a problem because companies are looking at, for instance, I don't want to open this, but we are currently working on a payment project. I won't tell you, I'm not going to say the idea out on public, but if you want to work with me, you can also message me, I will be glad. So we're working on the blockchain project. It's a payment project and we're trying to use the blockchain. We wanted to use the Ethereum blockchain, but the gas fee was too high. Imagine someone was trying to do a payment and, hey, Mr. Ice, it's paying, it's so crazy. The gas fee was just too high and we could not cope. We just had to pause it. So now we're trying to look at Binance, but Binance Smart Chain is not really as decentralized as Ethereum. So we are still going to wait and weigh all our options, test Solana because Solana is looking so good, test Solana, and also perhaps because I love Ethereum so much and because I just know Ethereum is very strong and solid, we might wait for Ethereum 2.0. So, but the idea is the gas fee is just so incredibly high. And because of businesses, imagine a business like us, because we are not too strong yet, but imagine whatever we are doing on decentralized finance, we are trying to build our business on the blockchain, and the cost is just so much. We'll be discouraged. We say let's just use conventional payment systems. Let's use Flutterwave, InterSwitch, and normal gateways. So, but again, I believe this cost problem is going to be worked on. So, the next challenge with the blockchain technology, next general challenge is privacy issue. Okay, now remember I told you that the blockchain basically is transparent. Okay, it's transparent, and so because of this transparency, of course, there's this fear like, hey, if we have a public blockchain, things are not going to be private anymore. Okay, some government will say, I mean, we are going to everything like this is going to be transparent. Anybody connected to the blockchain node will be able to see this. And so there's this level of privacy issue that, so this is one of the challenges some people are having with the blockchain. But of course, it can still be handled. So some companies, they want to use blockchain for something. But the idea is, because of the transparency of the blockchain, some people are worried about the privacy. Can data still be protected and private? But of course, we see this is very, very true because these people, they have a little know-how. A lot of things on the blockchain can be encrypted. In fact, we just give an example of the Bitcoin blockchain. You can see the transaction that has been made, but you don't see the name of the person that has made the transaction. Why? Because the name was not provided there. And in fact, you don't even need the name, it's just the public address that is there. So a lot of people are really worried about the blockchain and the rest. But the key thing is, some companies, let's say a bank now decide to start putting people's name and the rest on the blockchain, they might be worried about that anybody that has access to this record, because some computers might have access to the records, because the blockchain is decentralized. So the computers have access to the record, then they believe they can begin to go into some of those data. So there are some data they don't want people to see. But of the truth be told, these data can be actually heavily encrypted. Okay, so the question now is, who is going to decrypt them? Are all the computers connected to the blockchain be able to decrypt them? Only a selected few and the rest. So this is where private blockchains begin to come in. But this issue of privacy has also been handled and has also been handled. Then the next is inefficient technological design. Inefficient technological design. Okay, now the thing is this, because blockchain is a new field. Imagine if I ask you now to build an app for me that that enables students of this university, Pan-Atlantic University, and for or let's say enables people in this class, whether you're a registered student of Pan-Atlantic University or you're watching from somewhere, to be able to chat with each other. So you can ask me questions, I can answer and all that. Imagine asking to build that app. This app has a workflow pattern. It has a thought process pattern. You can just sit down, think it, and design the whole thing. But the blockchain is still a new field. People are trying things out. So you get, not everything is figured out. So of course some things have been figured out, but they still have a lot of scalability issues. But not everything has been figured out. So there's no clear technological design. There's no clear path. One blockchain project is trying something totally different. Another blockchain is trying something totally different. There's no clear path. Even the blockchain, even Cardano for instance, they are still working on a lot of things. Even Ethereum, there are a lot of things that if we try this, we might compromise this. In fact, there was one part of Ethereum that was attacked one day. I think the DAO or something was attacked at some point. It was a very attack, one of the strongest attacks. And of course, it almost shook the trust of people on the Ethereum blockchain, because Ethereum is public. But how come it was attacked at that high rate? It was very, very crazy, but they were able to handle it in a very, very crazy way. So, but the idea is there's no clear technological design. They're just trying things out. So because of that, some business are like, wait, for now, I'll stay away of this thing because it's not so clear. When it gets clear, we will see. Even on Binance Smart Chain, there was one of the Binance Smart Chain that was attacked. One of Binance Smart Chain protocol that was heavily attacked, and that protocol just, I mean, they were there's something called flash loans, so they were robbed of some flash loans. I don't. We'll get to that anyway when we get to Binance Smart Chain. Even not if not in class, but on this channel. Then another crazy thing is there's even one of the tokens I bought. Should I mention it? Yes, Venus SVS is a Binance Smart Chain token. The coin is SVS. The project is called Venus. Venus is an amazing project. It's a very crazy. They are solving a lot of problems. They're doing a lot of crazy things. I mean, at the time, Venus token was wrecked at some point in time. I mean, it was not totally wrecked, but just calculated at some point in time. And I invested and I bought a lot of Venus token, and it just wiped me out. And I really felt bad. Okay, but I didn't really lose too much. I was able to escape at some point. So, but the problem there is, because of all this no clear technological design, they're just trying things out. People try to stay away from it. I stay away from this until everything becomes clear. And so because of this is one of the big challenges of the blockchain. Then lack of adequate skill set. Of course, blockchain developers are scarce. That's why I'm really choosing to be a blockchain developer. They are scarce because the field is not even clear yet. And imagine I say, okay, we're trying to recruit a blockchain developer. What do you want him to be able to do? What you want him to be able to do has not been done before. So how will you? So we are just exploring. Let's just try codes. I want you to be able to learn, work, infer, and figure out, extrapolate, foresee things. That's basically what a lot of the blockchain developers are doing. They are just trying to, except perhaps just want to do things that have already been done. So because of the lack of adequacy, and apart from even on those things that have already been done, not a lot of people are in it because of the bad reputation problem. People are wondering, if I start this, will I get a job? Who is going to employ me if I say I'm a blockchain developer? How many blockchain jobs are out there? So a lot of people are, because of this lack of heavy demand, people are not willing to learn the skill, and this lack of skill set. And because of lack of skill set, imagine there's a business is start adopting blockchain now. Who are they going to employ to do the job? Because of this lack of adequate skill set. In fact, most of the people we see inventing things on board like Cardano and the rest, they are powerful mathematicians. They are geniuses. Like, I'm not saying we all can be geniuses, but it takes a lot of. They are so super good, and at the end of everything. But of course, there are courses being taught, like this course now is being taught. People at least, even though we can't go so in depth, let's be on basic level. Let's write on frameworks, write on programs, write on things like Ethereum now. Just write on Ethereum, build your thing, even though you cannot go so in depth. So, but this is one of the biggest challenges, because for the blockchain to really scale and expand to business level, a lot of people have to be trying it. So lack of adequate skill set is one of the problems. Then of course current speed of operation. Of course you already know how that is affecting, because the speed is still very low. Businesses are receiving. Imagine a bank like Access Bank or First Bank. How many transactions are happening in Nigeria First Bank in a minute, in a second? If they were to be running on blockchain, there will be a lot of pile-ups, and it will not be very nice. People will leave the bank. So because of this speed, a lot of people are leaving it. So now, I have a note there that says, these are true limits. Full stop. Beyond the limits, the blockchain technology is taking this layer form, where the user gets the blockchain as a third-party software piece rather than implement its own. So beyond all these limits we have, remember we said there are all these limits, bad reputation, lack of awareness, lack of clarity, and on all that. So the idea is, most of the problem with inefficient technological design, adequate skill set, that means you as a company, you want to start using blockchain, you want to employ someone that has blockchain, or speed of operation, cost, privacy, all these things. The way people are beginning to approach it is this: to have a company that does blockchain, that's what they do. And so you as a business, or you as a person, you want to get the service of that company instead of trying to have your own blockchain team or set up your own blockchain team, which you might do in years later. Okay, when blockchain becomes more and more very open for everybody. But at the early stage, you want to really, at least, even if not all, you want to get some of the properties of the blockchain. I like this property, I want it, my company to be running on it, to build more trust, to expand, to be able to manage things properly. Of course, I told you McDonald's is doing something like that. So one of the ways they can do it is, instead of saying you want to hire so many blockchain people who might not even have adequate skill set, what people do is to get a blockchain company. Example, Solana. Solana is already doing things on the blockchain. There are people developing things on working on blockchain. So Solana can decide to say we have a blockchain team that services all our clients. Okay, so our clients have any challenge with the blockchain and everything, then you are running on Solana basically. So there are some basic things, of course. You might have an in-house person that can do the basics, very basics. Doesn't need to be so in depth. Then for the other crazy and very difficult thing, you have the team at Solana. So instead of building your own blockchain from scratch, just use Solana, a third-party system, a third-party blockchain. Do your own things. So this is really where I see the blockchain, at least in this early stage, because of the whole crazy things and all that. So in the early stage, people just use third-party and communicate with them as much as possible. And this guy is the beginning. Okay, so I mean that's the end of what I have for you on the challenges of the blockchain. There are some other ones, but let's keep it at this for now. You can Google some other ones, you can check it out. Challenges does not end. Even the internet has challenges, Facebook has challenges, every field has challenges. So but the idea is to be able to be so useful that people can overlook the challenges and to work on solving the challenges and to minimize them to the barest, to reduce them to the barest minimum. Alright, so this is a more contemplative one. The future of the blockchain. What do you think? After listening to this class, listening why we have the blockchain, listening to what it is and how it works, listening to the applications, listening to the challenges, what do you think the future of the blockchain will be? Do you think this technology has a chance? Or at some point it will just be refuted and thrown away and done away with? So what do you think the future of the blockchain is? I mean, so this is a brainstorming session. I really wish we are having a real meeting so we could talk and so, but what I would like you guys to do for me is I'm considering, for registered students with Panama University, I'm considering breaking you into groups, and these groups you just make a video of yourself discussing the possibilities of what you see the Bitcoin has. It's going to be recorded because at least to make you guys serious about doing this. Okay? So but I really want to it's not really about the record, it's not about the score, it's not about anything. It's about just you, I mean, just discuss. It can be a short 5 minutes video and then you put it on your Google Drive and you send me a link so I view. And if you are watching on YouTube and you want to also share things with me, you might not be in groups, you can just do it personally. You just tell me what you think the future of the blockchain will be. It should be an interactive session. It should be an interactive session. And I might set up a meeting subsequently where we all discuss this. Okay? So, that being said, alright, so the discussion. Then the CAUT test. Of course, since this is a pre-recorded video, we'll be having the CAUT test when I come to class on Monday. So watch this video and get set for the CAUT test. You can find the references here. And I think that's all. So a quick recap. We've seen the introductory part of the blockchain. So I've just been able to introduce you to the blockchain. So if you didn't know anything about the blockchain before, my desire is that, or what I dream of is that after watching this series of introductory videos on the blockchain, even though you don't know so deep, you have an idea, you can talk confidently when you go out about the blockchain. You can say, hey, I know this thing to an extent. Okay, and with this I believe you can even be a blockchain enthusiast, you can be an ambassador for businesses, for companies that are beginning to start business on the blockchain. I think Binance have this ambassador program they are doing. A lot of blockchain projects have ambassador programs they are doing. A lot of blockchain programs are recruiting interns. And so you can just try one or two things because you have a basic knowledge I feel can take you out there to start one or two things on the blockchain. So of course, don't always look at, especially for the blockchain, don't always talk about, I want to make a lot of money now. I know this sounds so crazy, but for all those of us those of us that are millennials and Gen Z, our blood is hot. We want to make money like right now. So, but just look beyond just money, and it's going to be very, very crazy. If to find a blockchain team that will recruit you now is going to be so amazing. So I want you to develop yourself more in this field, and let's see what we can make of it.